Hello, everyone. Welcome to Preter's Papers. This is the 85th discussion in this series, and it's titled The Second Beast of Revelation. You can find this free 2-page printable PDF at preterspapers.com. We have made the case that the Zealots were the beast of Revelation in Preter's Papers 36 to 42. We will seek to show that the second beast was the rebel priests who took control of the temple for the full duration of the war. They would have provided a powerful air of legitimacy to the anti-Roman rebellion. When they took control of the temple, they had access to the vast temple treasury and issued coins for the new zealot government beginning in AD 66. In addition, the zealots hired prophets, presumably to assure the people of divine favor and a splendid outcome to the war. Number 1 is our interpretation of the second beast in Revelation 13 at this time. A. The second beast had a benign appearance associated with the priesthood, but he upheld the tyrannical ideology of the first beast. B. He caused the Jews, those who lived in the promised land, to adopt the dogma of the zealots. Please note we are using the more accurate word land instead of earth in verse 12. Part C. The zealot movement was almost lost with the death of the seventh zealot leader, but he was replaced by a successful eighth leader who was not of the zealot dynasty, infusing new energy into the rebel movement. Check out Preter's paper number 52 regarding the 7-member Jewish zealot dynasty. D. In the Old Testament, fire from heaven was bestowed on prominent men of faith. However, the second beast's fire from heaven and other signs were deceptions. These deceptions gave power to the first beast in the eyes of the Jewish people. E. With the pre-war defeat of the Syrian Roman legion, the zealots returned from battle to Jerusalem, running and singing with an abundance of Roman weaponry. This stunning victory of the eighth leader swelled zealot ranks and would have provided ample material to create a potent, heroic mythos for the rebel cause. F. The zealots were completely intolerant of anyone who disagreed with their movement. Josephus reports that if anyone was suspected of trying to defect to the Romans during the war, his throat was cut immediately. The following points is evidence that supports our interpretation. Number 2, the dragon was a symbol of the despotic might of Egyptian power. References to the dragon are references to the spirit of tyranny, recalling the enslaving power under Pharaoh. Number 3, Josephus reports that before the war, the high priests colluded with the governors to steal the tithes from ordinary priests. This would have radicalized the temple priests, causing them to oppose the elite religious leadership along with the Romans. Number 4, the zealot slogan stated that Yahweh was to be their only ruler and Lord. 5, the elevated sounding philosophy of the zealots was attached to the belief that those who disagreed with the rebels deserved to die. This is the way of tyrants, using virtuous-sounding phrases wedded to immoral behavior. Number 6, in AD 66, after oppression by an especially wicked Roman governor in Judea, the governor of the temple, Eleazar ben Ananias, led the temple priests in changing the law of Moses. Gentiles were no longer allowed to bring gifts in the worship of Yahweh. Number 7, the law of Moses instructed Israel that Gentiles were to be fully included in temple worship. Excluding Gentiles, including the emperor, from offering gifts, terrified a great part of the Jewish citizenry because they believed it doomed the city. Number 8, the priests followed Eleazar's lead, turning to war preparations instead of their priestly duties. 9, after a 7-day civil war in the fall of AD 66, the control of the temple remained in zealot hands, and so it continued for the duration of the war. 10 and 11. The daily sacrifice failed in the summer of AD 70 for lack of priests to offer it. Because priests were supposed to be free of any flaws, we believe there were no priests left who were not wounded or suffering from starvation at this time. Number 12. At the end of the war, even after the temple was in possession of the Romans, the priests continued to fight. 13. Finally, the priests from the temple were brought to Titus. They begged for their lives, but were executed for their participation in the war. 15. Josephus reported that a great number of false prophets were hired by the zealots as well. These men presumably would have functioned similar to the false prophets in the Old Testament as promoters of God's favor to the Hebrew people. Thank you for listening.